Hey everyone, welcome back to Joe at Work. I hope you're doing well and I hope you're safe. So, yes, a bit excited. Arsenal in the Champions League final, a 20-year long wait. Man, 20 years. I think about where I was 20 years ago and when I watched that final against Barcelona. Anyway, that was then, this is now. So, really excited. And 3 wins away, really, from winning the Premier League. And who knows, if we win the league, I might just have to do my best North London Forever rendition here. But still got to win this weekend. Still got to move forward. So, hey, go Gunners. Again, thank you for joining me. Thank you for all the feedback. Don't forget to subscribe at the end of this and to share with people. These are quick, these are short reflections on work, my reflections prompted by observations, conversations, and just, all the things that influenced me to do this and to continue to do this. And I've been doing this since the pandemic. So pretty proud of myself for continuing to do this almost every week on a Friday. But anyway, here we are. And I took a detour about 2, 3 weeks ago because I missed last week or missed the last 2 weeks. I've been traveling, but I took a detour to really call people in positions of power to account. And from the perspective of, it's so easy to say there's so many forces outside of them or conditions or however you want to describe it that are nudging them or encouraging people in powers in a position or inviting them to act in certain ways that are harmful. I get it. But at some point, we all need to ask ourselves, am I going to be responsible for my actions? At what point do we own our actions to some degree? So that was a little bit of a detour based on a conversation I had on LinkedIn. But we've been talking about noticing what the workplace is doing to us, how it's influencing us, how it's shaping us, and what we're becoming through the process of going to work. And I've argued or said over the past couple of weeks or months at this point, because we've been talking about this for a bit, that we often think that we bring stuff to work and that we're doing stuff at work. But work and that environment we're in is also doing things to us. It's shaping us, it's making us become something. We're always in the process of becoming. Everyone's in the process of becoming. The question is, becoming what? That's really the big question. What are you and I becoming? And is it the thing we want to become? So, anyway, with regards to work, noticing what we're becoming and noticing what work is doing to us is so important. And especially now, where the tyranny of the urgent, the need to respond, the need to always be on, the high pressure and demands, quick judgment, uh, so many reorgs that we erase what happened before, the need to be the most eloquent. There's so many things that the workplace imposes upon us that we have to grapple with and deal with. And pushing back against that when we notice what's going on can be challenging. And so I said, hey, I think the first thing you need to do is identify like minded people. I think community is so important. So much of the self help that we get in the world today is so focused on the individual. But remember, like community, society precedes the individual. No one shows up here by themselves. We're brought forth into this world. Like your parents bring you in. So people precede each one of us actually existing. And so we arrive to meet other people. And so connecting with other people, forming bonds, community of practices, and work groups is so important. It's so key. Finding people who you can have these conversations with, who can share what they're noticing, finding a mentor who can help you work through the things you're noticing and how you respond is so important. But yes, like I said last week, at some point, we all need to take responsibility. There are individual things each one of us needs to do. And I've said that there are really 3 responses you can have. Once you notice what work's doing to you, you can try and ignore it and just be carried along. You can like resist and fight, and that could be very challenging as well. You can find yourself tired because every single thing you're pushing back against. Or you can try to negotiate your way intelligently, and that requires skill. It's maybe an art more than a science. But what are some things you can begin to do? And this is some of the things I want to obviously bring to this conversation at this point. And I think the number one thing is you need to find ways to slow down. And this is tough because we live in a world where people want answers immediately. Like I know it, like you get the pings, this, that, and the other thing. And so you're always running. And when somebody sends you a message on Teams or Slack and doesn't get you, then they send you a following message on, like, to your personal phone number, like the tyranny of the urgent. But how can you slow down? And maybe you need to respond to people because that's the situation you find yourselves in. That's the organizational setup. But how are you engaging with others where you have a bit more control? Are you also transferring that pressure? Are you demanding people like respond to you immediately? Or when you send something out, do you have the patience to sit back and say, this can take a few minutes. I'm sure that person is doing something else. I'll wait for them for a bit. Or are you constantly checking to see if they responded? And if they haven't responded, you begin to get bothered by the fact that they haven't responded. Well, if you're beginning to get bothered, you've gotten caught up in this urgency that we've created for ourselves. And so here's the first thing: look for ways to slow down, look for ways to pause, look for ways to take your foot off the gas, if you will. You may not be able to make others do that, so to speak, but can you do it for yourself? So that's step one. When you notice how your workplace is speeding you up, can you slow down? Can you find ways to slow down? It's a challenge. So what have you noticed in the workplace, and how are you responding to it? What are you becoming? Is it what you want to become? What can you do about it? Hope this was useful. Again, don't forget to subscribe, Joy at Work, share with somebody if you found this beneficial. I'll see you around. Go Gunners.